Yo, I pressed the button too early to the 2 people watching. This isn't gonna work. Hello, who's here anyway? Who's watching? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Nancy. Nancy, are you here? It's Alias and Sings. They're early. Hey guys, somehow I've pressed the button far too early and we shouldn't even be live now. I was gonna just roll a spliff. I was setting up the camera angle so that I wouldn't have to worry about it afterwards. And here we are, pressed go live by mistake. Hello Guy, you're new. What's really going on? Yeah, so we're gonna have to improvise a little bit now and probably forget the spliff that I was intending to do. Tina T, my goodness, we've got strangers. We don't normally get strangers waiting. Hello Tina T, glad to have a couple of new people. I don't mean that by any rudeness, strangers. It's just something we don't come to expect with Tsp Tv live shows. Usually it is the kind of regular offenders that come in. And another one. Oh, go roll it. I see nothing wrong. Okay, because that was what I was going to do, guys. I was going to roll and then maybe put some music on for you, because otherwise I'd have to stop the stream, put a new one up. That might kind of cause even more confusion. So I don't feel like I should leave because we've got new people here. Seems like room. Nancy, hi. Lol, it popped up. Is it really? Did you happen to subscribe to my channel by any chance? I don't often. This is it. I'm just like confused. Normally. I only get my regular offenders that come and watch live. It's usually a little bit like a support group thing online. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're a support group that needs sort of mental health in careful supervision or anything like that, although there are one or two that are a little bit questionable. But sometimes we don't get newcomers very often, and even in the last couple of days, a few of you folks been saying that you haven't had notifications. We had to like really find my videos, search to find my videos. You're confused. Yeah, I'm confused. As I said, please don't think we're being anything but welcoming. It just is a little bit of a shock to my system. I'm not normally prepared for this sort of stuff. Newbies, and it looks like I've got 2 or 3 people that are not usually regular offenders. So I was curious how you found me. You said it popped up in a notification. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome. You might have some fun. You might think to yourself, dear God, how on earth did this happen? Which is sometimes the case. So Shawnee, is that Shawnee? How you would say that? Shwan? Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it. So probably some people don't even realize we're live yet because we're not due to be on for another fucking 17 minutes. And I was trying to roll a spliff. So I'm going to do that and leave you some money. Hello, I'm Guy. So we're glad to have a few newbies. Maybe some of our more regular offenders will show up slowly and surely as often as the way. I'm sure I mean that in the most affectionate terms. Like the regular offenders, they knew who they are. They're kind of my regular viewers who have come to kind of see this as a little place to come and hang out, maybe kind of distract themselves from their woes and worries while having a little bit of a discussion about what's going on and what we think may or may not be untoward, so to speak. Yeah, Nancy's one, Heidi's one. That's what I'm talking about. Regular offenders. We're all a little bit kind of offenders here. So as I said, I am trying to roll a spliff that I do want to smoke before we go into this show. Some of you who are regular know that kind of thing. Yeah, go subscribe to the other channels if you haven't already. So give our fellow community YouTubers some support. So what's going on with you guys? How's it all hanging in your neck of the woods? Where are our newbies from? Hey baby P, she just got up. See, this is what I'm talking about, the regular offenders guy. Yeah, I'm kind of actually not really prepared. By accident I pressed play, Becky P, and I found Indiana. Hi, that's not far from Ontario. I mean, it is, but I think you can see Indiana from the CN Tower, if I can remember the couple of times I've been up there. So yeah, we had a few new people that we've somehow stumbled into the thrift store tonight. So I was sort of entertaining them a little bit before I went and smoked my spliff. By any chance, are any of you new people that are here pothead preppers? Because if you are, then maybe this was fate. If not, maybe, I don't know. Oh, gotcha. So, yeah, we're not supposed to be on for another 14 minutes. I thought I had all the time in the world to prepare. Hey, we all casual here. No issues. Yeah, so I've got some marijuana there. I'm just going to roll a little spliff with. So, you know how the kind of code goes. We don't really have rules or regulations, but be excellent to one another. Hey, we're all casual here. No issues. Beats Marfugal news. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. That's in the eyes of the viewer, I guess. But some people think so. So maybe you'll be one of those. So we will be going over a little bits and pieces that are going on, some interesting stuff. And I'm not sure or not if my good friend and homeboy from back in Swindon, England, is going to be watching. He's a little bit of a, I'm not going to say maybe recent truther, but somebody I knew from a long time ago when I worked in the pharmaceutical trade. Funny enough, with this guy, I'm not sure if he's going to drop in or not. I did send him a link. He did give me a thumbs up, and I did say I got a notification that he subscribed. So that'd be nice. We just do love TSP. Yeah, some of these people, I don't know what's wrong with them, newbies. Please don't think I'm being rude calling you newbies. As I say, we do only get used to the regular offender, so we feel like we may also, it's like having the queen round for tea. We've got, oh my god, look smart, get the best cutlery out, watch your P's and Q's. So I am rolling my little spliff as we speak. Who's been staying out of trouble today? Everybody and everyone, I hope. I'm trying to have to check your comments a little bit on the screen. What did you think of the thumbnail, people? Did you like it? So Guy, I quit 5 weeks ago just before this BS hit after 40 years of maybe not. I mean, you might be a blessing if you've already kind of gone through the withdrawal process and getting used to the sort of not the habit. It's all right, baby P. You can say funny as fuck. I don't think we're going to upset some of the new ones. You don't have to be that, like, on your airs and graces because we've got newbies in, but we do like to welcome them. So it's nice to see that somehow, some way, we've reached out to a few new folks. So who was it that said that they were confused? Tina, don't be confused and don't leave us. Stick around. We may have some fun and laughs. We've been having trying to put some humor into what's been going on, and somehow I've become a little bit of a source of distraction for many of these folks that are the regular offenders. And doing a lot of baking, that's good. Put your time to good use. And I'm going to sort of have to think about, maybe I'm going to have to start rationing my marijuana consumption at some point before it gets to the point that I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's better to start rationing when you have plenty, because when you have to start rationing when there's not much, then you don't really have the weaning process, so to speak. I do know what I'm talking about. So that's good to hear you do a lot of baking, and maybe we've already lost Tina. I don't know, Tina, blink twice if you're alive, 3 times if you've got COVID. And Shawani, am I saying it wrong? Can you maybe type it phonetically for me? Shawan. I've been studying and doing homework. Ugh. We got a bit of puffering going on. Went to the store, got TP. I'm glad to hear you've got your TP situation sorted and under control, Nancy. Sean, oh, like Shawnee. I got you. Okay, so I think I was right the first time. Shawnee, thank you. So I don't want to be offending anybody. And where are you, my darling? I'm presuming you're a darling. That looks like a lady's spelling of Shawnee. Puffering, yeah, I saw that, Heidi. Hey, he's alias. What up, Trip? Yes. Okay, Guy, like TP is in short supply, it seems. It is, but during the middle of the chaos panic buying of TP, I sort of somehow managed to find some at the convenience store where they had a fucking half a wall of this little convenience store was toilet paper, more toilet paper than Walmart. I'm worried about government. Okay, Tina T, not Tina T, it's a Tina I. I just noticed that. I was looking on the phone. So Tina, you are in the right place then. You are. It wasn't coincidence that you found it. It was the Matrix drawing you to the Rebel Alliance, so to speak. I mean, we're not the Rebel Alliance at all. We don't got Millennium Falcons and Ewoks backing us up to take out the conglomerate industrial empire that reign over us tyrannically already, even though maybe we don't realize it. But the implications of more tyranny is certainly at play during this virus. God, I should rolled and smoked already. So darling, glad to have you. So we'll welcome you into the family. We do make a fuss of newbies when they come along because it's so rare. I've been stuck. It's kind of like, you know, when you're in prison with the same old faces for a long time and all of a sudden you get some new blood in. It's kind of like having a new channel on cable to entertain you. So welcome newbies. Hopefully the fam will take care of you. So we're still not supposed to be due to be live yet, so I'm nearly finishing rolling and I'm trying to read along with your comments. So I do have a little bit of interesting stuff to talk about, and I was on the phone with Annie Burdell from Prepper Chicks, the acclaimed author. I don't know if she's acclaimed, but I think she should be. She's our friend at Tsp Tv. You may know her. She's got a couple of novels out and currently writing a new novel, and her genre is doomsday apocalypse. We had her on a couple of weeks ago talking about living in a real life kind of fiction scenario. So it's a little bit of a ratty ass spliff, I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't paying as much attention to it as I should. If we ever do, I want a Chewbacca, and I've got a funny, can I show you the funny Chewbacca story? Hold on a minute, I've got a funny Chewbacca thing to show you here. This is a little bit of the kind of humor you might come to. Hang on. I think I need to get some volume. Right. I don't know if you can see this, right? Can you see that there?
Listen up real close, okay?
Oh, hang on.
Listen up real close, okay?
Once again. Alrighty, so somebody mentioned Chewbacca, and I just got sent that a little while ago, so I thought I'd share with you. Just got sent that a little while ago. I thought that would get Becky Pamplin laughing. She does like burps and blow-offs. That's what we call farts in England. But that's what you'd say. That was what you'd call a fart if your mum was around. Like, Mum, I did a blow-off. But it would also be you showed up at the right time. So Shawnee, sorry, that is kind of maybe some of the humour we do go to. We're kind of like naughty teenagers in the schoolyard, especially if Darcy in a Almel show up. So sorry if that scared any of the newbies away, but we do try to lighten the mood and have a little bit of fun and laughs, probably at an inappropriate expense. So guys, I've rolled my spliff, so I'm gonna go out and smoke it. But do you want some music while I'm gone? I've lost my fucking lighter. You know what, fuck the spliff, I'm just gonna smoke it later. Let's carry on with the show. Oh, it's here, I found the lighter. All right, I thought I was going to lose the lighter. Forget what I just said. So, okay. It's okay. Oh, no, it's all good. All right. Like I said, we were trying to be all like sort of polite and professional. This is I'm going to smoke. Guy, I'm just, yeah, no, me too. But I'm not sure if that was an actual real fart or they just put the Chewbacca sound effect in afterwards. But it was a little bit funny, I thought. Somebody did mention, I can't remember, Chewbacca. So, there we are, guys. There we are. I'm not going to be replicating that for you, but I do want to find you some tunes to listen to while I go out and smoke. Is that cool with you? Take us with you. I could, but I don't really want to. Too many people outside at the minute, if you feel me, baby P. So let's not do that. I would normally, but just not at this precise moment in time. You feel me? Let's get the intro music up. Hopefully, hang on a second. We're gonna go. Where's a good one? All right. Can you hear that? All right, guys, I'll be 5 minutes, not even. Okay, I'm back, guys. I sped smoked for your I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's get back on. It always seems a little bit better to start the show with some music. So welcome, guys. It is Tsp Tv live. We are kind of still a little bit ahead of schedule, even though you guys kind of got invited to the warm-up pre-show. And that was a little bit of a bonus for you, I'm sure. So anyway, I did have something planned for you. Let me do that before we get the comments up. This was something I wanted to do. I was going to start the show like this. Yo, Phebees' boyfriend will drop kick you in the motherfucking throat if you don't watch Tsp Tv live. And yeah, we had a little bit of a rant the other day about that guy, whoever he is, Phebees' boyfriend, from 4 episodes in season 8 or something of Friends. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. Speed smoking and doing an exciting intro to the show. Let me get the camera set up straight. All right, that's why we went live. I inadvertently pressed go live while I was trying to set up my camera angle. Satina took a temp at the door. The world has gone mad. So many buying into the bullshit agenda. Indeed they are, and we've been sort of kind of looking. Well, he is famous. We made that motherfucker famous. Yo, me, Phebees' boyfriend, semi-famous actor. You may remember me from such shows as Friends, where I was Phebees' boyfriend, motherfucker. Anyway, I don't know why I'm not getting your comment come up on the other phone. Becky P. I don't know what you guys believe, but this COVID BS is not happening to cops, no ambulance. Well, Guy, interestingly enough, a couple of days ago, I did a little walkabout video. I live very, very close to St. Joseph's Hospital here in Toronto, where I live. exactly what you're saying. There didn't seem to be any like rush of ambulances, no ambulances showing up. Lights flashing. There didn't seem to be many people making their way to the emergency room. There appeared to be like very little activity at all. In fact, almost less activity that you would expect, considering what you're hearing on the news about this. And I think possibly you guys may have seen the New York Times or the New York Post video that went a little bit viral last year with Dr. Smith, the lady in that hospital in Queens, where she was, we don't have enough ventilators. I've been wearing the same N95 product placement here, brought to you courtesy of 3M. There's not enough N95 masks are the best masks to survive the epidemic, brought to you courtesy of 3M. But there's not enough masks. I've been wearing the same one for 3 weeks. We need ventilators. And the worst thing, there's a shipping container full of dead bodies. But anyway, people who live in New York, Jason Goodman, a YouTuber I follow, got quite of a large following, nearly 100,000 people follow this guy. He's out and about. He's just a guy with a camera. He goes on the streets and he's looking around, what's going on. He's been to a lot of the hospitals in and around New York. Same thing, all empty, yet we're led to believe that New York is the epicenter of the world. Now, New York also is kind of unofficially the capital city of the globe. It's a city that's very, very recognizable to almost anyone. It was the city that they staged another false flag event in almost 20 years ago. You may know what I'm talking about. Tuesday in September morning might come to mind. But very similar. New York was the city that became the city that all eyes were on, and kind of almost in the aftermath, in the smoldering smoke, everyone was somehow a New Yorker, even though they'd never been there, they'd never seen it, maybe through shows such as Friends or movies or things like this. We all had an affiliation somehow, some way to New York City. Everybody had seen the World Trade Center many, many, many times. It was an image we saw, and it was an image that was used in an icon that was used to be destroyed before our eyes in order to enforce a psychological operation. And that's what's going on now. We've got a narrative that is being provided by the mainstream media that doesn't match what we're seeing on the streets. There just does not seem to be the level, people here in Toronto are out and about like, it's a vacation. Many people are at home like they are around the nation right now, around the world, not just in North America, Europe, everywhere is a little bit affected by this, except maybe the tribes in the Amazon jungle. They're going about their daily routines like nothing's changed, and probably are oblivious to all this. Ignorance is bliss. But are they as susceptible to this virus because they don't have the media to enforce the fear of this virus? Possibly not. Okay, Baby P, you go do what you got to do about a cop. And there's lots of rumors about people that have the virus. Now, we've got a little bit of an interesting theory that I may try to share with you. I'm not sure if I'll be able to convey that theory in a sort of scientific, professor-like manner that I hope to convey it with. But I've got a little bit of an interesting theory if we have to believe that this is transmitted socially, if there was indeed a patient zero. But before we do speak about that a little bit, we've seen all this celebrities that have been on the news almost every single day. A new celebrity has got COVID. That's why you've got the celebrity COVID bingo going. We've got a list of people who we thought. Now, I'm not sure if it was true or not, but I saw reports that the Queen's got it, Prince Charles has got it. Tom Hanks was the first notable person. Again, he's somebody very recognizable. All of a sudden, it's not just statistics of people in foreign countries that have got this that we don't have a face to. It's Tom fucking Hanks. Forrest Gump's got it. Motherfucker, that guy's got it. It could happen to anyone. And then hour by hour, almost, a new celebrity has it. The Beckhams have it. The Queen. Now, at the moment, if we want to believe what the World Health Organization is saying is true, which I really don't think so, less than 1 million people around the globe are affected by this, and less than 100,000 deaths from the COVID. All right, so really and truly, that it sounds a lot, but on a global scale, drop in the ocean. People die every single day. Around 50,000 people a month happen to die in any given nation, right? People die, it's what happens. People cough, people sneeze, people fart, people piss, people shit. This is what people do. It's inevitable. We can't escape any of these things, right? Sorry, I lost my little bit of train of thought now, but the figures just don't match up to pandemic, doesn't match up to the complete breakdown of society, the enforced kind of or the volunteering of martial law, obeying what we've been told on the hearsay, the Chicken Little sky is falling kind of storyline that they've amended to make it suitable for COVID purposes. But this is the other thing, that within this very, very small number globally of people who have been affected by the COVID disease, an awful lot of celebrities seem to be affected by it. Now, this is where we're going to go a little bit down the rabbit hole with the patient zero. So let's say in this little prepper baby here, he's patient zero. And let's just say this is the angry bat soup that's got the COVID. What's up, sings a lot, right? This is the bat soup. So he's yum, 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 delicious, delicious, wet bat soup hit the market. Best bat soup in whole Wuhan. So he's eating this soup. He's gone off. Now, he's got the virus, right? And it's transmitted person to person. So let's say he comes in contact with, for argument's sake, 10 people. He comes in with 10 people who then come in contact with 10 people and 10 people. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, so I've already lost track of the math here. But somehow people that patient zero interacted with somehow managed to interact with Tom Hanks, with the Queen, with Prince Charles, and all these other, like, do you see what I'm saying here, folks? That this one patient zero, and he got this virus for the first time, and then he was the one that was responsible for spreading it. Who did he come in contact with that then come in contact with people who come in contact with the Queen? Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Do you understand what I'm coming at? Where did I need to watch that too? My county just got its first positive. My hospital went full on code OMG. So Alias, is that you saying, yep, you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Does the likelihood that a patient zero could have come in contact with people that then inadvertently come in contact with people that have direct contacts to the global elites, be they kings, princes, queens, movie stars, sports stars, celebrities, they all seem to be having this more than the common folk. Okay, you understand. Fear porn isn't at its best. Christina, Nancy, I'm scared to death. So what's happened to you, sings a lot? Why are you scared to death, darling? I've just watched J-Key Bugout's latest video. And what does J-Key Bugout say? I'm totally following you, baby P. Okay, so I'm not talking gobbledygook then, right? So does this then make any sense that if it's transmitted socially, and again, we've talked about this before, that celebrities don't generally walk in social circles that we do? It's not like, Tom Hanks has to go to Target or Walmart to get toilet paper and some tampons for his wife, some Hot Pockets and a bag of Cheetos, and maybe while he's there he might get a couple of pictures off of his phone made into prints for the fridge. He doesn't do these sort of things. People do this for him. So how is the bat soup drinking and patient zero managed to infect all these people in what are the probabilities and the statistics that for every 100 people infected, a certain amount of those 100 people would have some celebrity status? Spot on. Thank you, baby P. I'm not going to have you virtually orgasming and banging the virtual kitchen table again, am I? Anytime soon. I don't believe it was possible, but I'm scared now. Okay, I still don't understand what you're scared of, sings a lot. Take a deep breath, my darling. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Even though those breaths were both in and out through my mouth, you should go in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nancy understands. Good girl, Nancy. Good girl. Zombies. So you're afraid of zombies that you think, oh my God, did you see the stupid, funny, like, text that I put up the other day? Sprayed from the sky. Who knows? We're all in, well, that was the narrative of The Walking Dead. And is it coincidence that, oh, everyone's affected, Carl? We're all affected. You, me, Daryl, Michonne. We all got it, Daryl, Carl. But you know what I mean? Who knows what could happen? It's probably the elites, Becky. You know, they run this through various simulations to get the desire. So what's he saying about zombies? They're spraying things in the air from chemtrails, and all of a sudden we're going to be turning into zombies. If it were to happen, think logically. What are the zombies like? Are there any? Was it just a theory, or was there some kind of footage showing zombie-like activities? Were there reanimated corpses or anything like that? Because I did a funny text the other day. Do you remember it? I kind of shared it with you. They aren't. And exactly, Christina. And again, rigor mortis will set in. They're stiff, you know. If you've ever seen a dead body with rigor mortis, then it doesn't move. It's almost like cement, concrete. They're not going to be able to remove or run. Like ligaments and tendons and stuff will kind of fall from the bone during the decomposition, and they won't be able to, like, you know, when they stand up, the flesh will just fall off the bone, pretty much like you've kind of cooked a piece of pork in a slow cooker for 18 hours. Well, Rosa rocks. Well, guys, give this fellow Rosa. He's my homie. I was telling you from back in England, for my hometown Swindon. This poor individual had the misfortune of being locked in with me, not in a prison cell, but it was a prison cell of sort, a pharmaceutical place for manufacturing of various drugs. Some psycho drug, olanzapine was one I can remember, Rosa. So everybody, please, he's like fucking royalty. Honestly, give him more love than you would give to me. So I'm glad you're here for the first time, Rosa. How long have you worked here? Two. And that's only something that Rosa will understand. Aye. But he sent me an interesting little bit of information the other day, and he's like, bro, everything you said is right, it's happening. It's a little bit to do with the QAnon. So anyway, why do they do it? I mean, it's only going to go down, Rosa. If everybody stays home, the COVID's going to go down. Why do they do it? It's not what you want. It's not what you want. Go outside, stay home. The figures are only going to go down. Again, that's only shit that possibly Rosa and myself and maybe a few work colleagues that may be dead. I'm guessing a couple of them must have died since the time I've went there. But Rosa, 5G is something I have reason to believe is possibly a source of power. Project Bluebeam. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's holographic weaponry. It was used during the Gulf War, I believe. The US military have this technology, is where they can project imagery into the sky, be it like a fleet of Apache helicopters. You could do that in them. I believe that is how they utilized this technology during the Gulf War. But Project Bluebeam is a theory or an actual fact piece of technology that is exactly that. It projects holographic images into the sky. I have reason to believe it was kind of that technology that was at play on 9/11. I'm a known planer. No planes on 9/11, guys. But Project Bluebeam, and where I've been going, I was talking to you about The Watchmen. I've been telling people about The Watchmen. Alan Moore, V for Vendetta, The Watchmen. This guy is telling you lots of shit in his books. Go and read them, pick them up. Don't watch the movies. Find copies of V for Vendetta and Alan Moore's The Watchmen, and they explain pretty much everything. Project Bluebeam. There you go, Becky P. See these folks, I'm among Rosa, they're smart people. And there's Judy Bell. When did you crawl in, Judy Bell? Didn't see you here. No planes on 9/11. And if any of you can remember my September Tuesday series, it was my no plane stuff that got community strike, that put me in a timeout in the naughty corner with YouTube. Wasn't allowed to post videos because I told you that there were no planes on 9/11, and even had very strong supporting evidence that suggested as much. And a couple of you did say, sadly, Rosa, none of that content exists anymore. I come very close to termination. We were like one strike away from not even having a channel and a community anymore. So in a drastic measure to prevent that happening, I deleted a shitload. Like over half of my content got deleted. Very, very kind of tough pill to swallow. Put some time and effort into some of that. Okay, Judy, sorry, darling, I didn't catch you before. But Project Bluebeam, 5G, the fake staged alien invasion, has been something I've been talking about as the unifying global event that would possibly require a singular government, global government governing body in order to deal with this staged false flag psychological operation event. Now, at the moment, we have a comet or a meteor, I can't remember which it is, called C19, which is going to be coming very, very, very close to Earth, because you were over the target, quite possibly. Only hell is in military. Where did you say you were again, Guy? Indiana, was that correct? Or the Antichrist? Now, just as the events of 9/11 were staged and it was played out, a real live event that captivated the audience. It was a psychological operation, control, problem, reaction, solution, Helian dialect. No coincidence. C19. No, and some of the content I actually took down was about the asteroid C19. I mentioned a few, that there were 3, I think, on course for it. Almost makes me so. This is why, at times like this, you can go back and look at these videos. They make a lot more sense now, kind of thing, than they did then. But some of those videos about the asteroids actually got quite a lot of views. Even last year, myself witnessed some very, very, very strange phenomenon in the skies over Toronto, and on the same day around Ontario. People witnessed the same phenomenon that I did, and also someone inadvertently recorded a disc-like shape above the CN Tower. That video still is Strange Skies over Toronto, if you want to go and check that out. But the staged alien invasion, albeit something from space, more to the point, the extraterrestrial threat, would be a threat that every single person on the globe would face together. There'd be no xenophobia, there'd be no sides, everybody would be on the same page. And we would need somebody to come on their white shining horse, a little bit like Gandalf at Helm's Deep when the Orc army was at its strongest and all desperation seemed to be lost. Gandalf shows up. That's what we're looking for, our Gandalf moment, somebody to come in and save the day, and that's when we'd get our global governing body. Now, 5G, I believe, going back to why this is being so implemented around schools and in places, lots of people reporting the erection of 5G towers and cameras and stuff going in. I've believed for the longest time that 5G is the power source required to get Project Bluebeam up and running, make sure there's not going to be any glitches in the matrix, so to speak, make sure and maintain that there is always enough coverage, like Wi-Fi for us. When you walk around the town, maybe you lose a little bit of signal when you're using your data, but you might have a stronger signal. Same principles with the 5G. If they're using something that's going to be projected on a very, very mass scale, then they're going to need a power source somehow to come after it. The other reason I believe this possibly is what 5G for is because 5G has been one of the conspiracies that is replaced, along with like Mandela effect, along with the flat earth conspiracies in recent times, the Sean Dawson approved New World Order rainbow unicorn friendly conspiracy theories to get people away from the real conspiracies, while also providing fuel and ammunition for folks who are not of a conspiracy theorist nature to throw back. Oh my God, they believe in things like that. Flat Earth, Mandela effect, they're ridiculous. What fucking truth can these truth people be speaking about if they're into such radical ideas as this? And it is designed to discredit. The term itself, conspiracy theorist, was designed to discredit people who question the official narrative of JFK. But because, as I've already mentioned, when you touch very, very, very close to the truth, certainly on platforms like YouTube, they will shut that shit down. And that is what they did to me about 9/11, about Greta Thunberg becoming the equivalent of the Nazi Hitler youth and moving towards a new religion. That shit got taken down, and the actor of a crisis stereotype that was used for the Jersey staged shooting event, that forgot her lines while live on a news broadcast, and forgot whether she was picking up her son or her nephew. What kind of parent would forget their son or nephew who they were picking up from school? Surely none. But this person who was affected by this so-called shooting incident forgot all about what kid she was supposed to be picking up from school that day. And when you touch upon the truth, you get your shit shut down. They censor that shit. So when so many 5G, oh, it's a microwave that's designed to cook us. I'm not saying it isn't, but that just seems to me is like misdirection and kind of the misinformation conspiracies that will discredit the truth movement as a whole. If I'm making any tool here, the event horizon or the singularity. She's worried about the zombies, Judy Bell. She watched a video that suggests, she never believed it until now, but the zombie video that she watched a little while ago is got her upset. I'm not saying don't be afraid, Darcy. The predictive program has been there for zombies ever since pretty much the turn of the new millennium. 2003 was a very hot time in the comic book world for zombies, as well as the reintroduction of the George A. Romero Dawn of the Dead 2002. They did the reboot with the fast zombies. It was pretty shit, nothing at all like the original classic. But zombie genre has been hot topic. It's been, you know, there's been programs on almost every network. iZombie, The Walking Dead, Z Nation, World War Z, zombie movies, zombies all over the place. You can't get enough zombie action in within the zombies. You know, it's an apocalypse. There are a bunch of survivors. There are people that are infected. You know, many people talk about The Walking Dead as being an analogy for life as we know it. The zombies are walking around just, you know, in hordes, staring at their phone. Pokemon Go, the herds and hordes of people that were just following virtual pixelated things around. I'm a zombie enthusiast, Rosa. You, like I say, you've actually got the pleasure of knowing me like before any of these folks that are watching now. And, you know, I've told these guys I am a fanboy. I'm a nerd. My kind of nerd knowledge is almost encyclopedic, and kind of why I think, you know, I've managed to make translate the predictive programming into the real life, because of the hours I spent watching and you know, surrounded by movies and TV shows and comic books and such forth. Probably, you know, there wasn't a time in the break room when we worked together I didn't have my head in a book of one sort of another. So I did have a lot of thirst for knowledge, but zombie movies really kind of also introduced the mainstream to kind of prepping. This is kind of, you know, out of the what spawned from the Walking Dead's popularity was things like doomsday preppers, you know, the bug out kind of things, extreme couponing and all this. And, you know, the extreme coupon show, although they went to the grocery store to get all these things at discount prices or end up getting Walmart paying them for 16 cartloads of goods, was to stockpile their pantries. And prepping was kind of introduced slowly. We did a little bit on the book 1 second after, which was little bit more than a tool of propaganda that was issued and released not long after, when the world was still very afraid, the aftermath of 9/11, and it talked of the EMP strike and shut the grid down. Now, I've told you why I don't believe there's going to be an EMP strike. It's because technology, what you're watching right now, your computer, your laptop, your tablet, your phone, this is the elite surveillance. This is their control. This is how they've been brainwashing. And, you know, we don't want to talk ill of millennials, but these are a generation that are unaware of the fact that they have been programmed to think the way they are. That's why they think things like Beyond Meat burgers are good. That's why they suddenly grow man buns and big beards. They didn't think of this on their own. It was programmed. It was pushed into them, and manipulation through social media and mainstream, what they see and what they follow, it has been fed to them via Instagram, via Facebook, via Twitter, by Snapchat. They, you know, these are sort of a generation that didn't sit down to watch the news at 10 or kind of only be able to get their information from newspapers. All that stuff has been obsolete. This is a reason why like streaming sites have become far more popular and are providing what is considered to be a lot more, credible work than Hollywood, like mainstream TV. All the best shows are on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, one or the other. They have the best shows, while what they put on like main networks is disposable garbage. My husband and I relationship got strong after we were hiking, talking about what we'd do in a zombie apocalypse were to happen. At the right now, this has happened before we got so again, zombie apocalypse was put into people's mind frame. The apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse. There's been shows like Aftermath, Revolution, Jericho, all kind of generated around the collapse of society and survivors banding together, trying to survive and forge new lives for themselves, albeit lives that are off the grid. Are we in that period? Is the staged pandemic, is the staged meteor stroke UFO attack, is this all designed to put us into kind of a grid shutdown, into a reset, or is it just designed to kind of push us into that totalitarianism, the one and only unifying event that would call for a global governing body? I think I did even put a video up where you can actually watch the Watchmen comic book adaptation on YouTube. I might try and post a link for it if you want to watch it, but I did a video on just the chapter 12, and I've mentioned that one of the main characters, Osmaniadis. In Osmaniadis, he has a kind of the pyramid, all seeing eye is his kind of symbol. He is the most intelligent and most wealthy, and he owns like banks, TV networks, everything. He kind of represents the 1%, the elites, the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. He owns everything, all the corporations, scientists, laboratories, you name it. Osmaniadis has his finger in that pie. And it takes place during the 1980s when Cold War was at a height, and it's a very, very complex conspiracy within a conspiracy story, but you kind of decipher what they happen, what happens within the story of the Watchmen is kind of a little bit of what we're seeing now. Some of the Watchmen, they were vigilante kind of superhero types, and somebody was killing them one by one. And this was a representation of killing the old ways, getting rid of, the baggage, so to speak, or the things that would hinder in the eventuality of a singular event, right? Or would stand in the way of somebody becoming the singular governing body. They would be a force to be reckoned with. So these guys are taken out of the picture before it happens. But Osmaniadis, with his scientists, with his labs and his bioengineers, creates a hybrid alien. It's not a real alien. He creates an alien, and then he somehow, a little bit, using an organization similar to CERN, he then puts this alien within the center of Manhattan, killing 5 million people as a result. And he puts this in between, like, there's a countdown. The Russians and the Americans are going to launch their nuclear missiles. There's going to be all-out war. However, the alien event, boom, killing 5 million. Suddenly they put down the missiles, and they accept Osmaniadis as their global advisor to see the planning after the event has taken place. He kind of order through chaos. He brings peace through killing 5 million people. Is that what's going on now? I don't know, but everybody's been told to stay at home. Everybody's in place. If they were to announce that there was perhaps a meteorite on its way to collide with Earth, this really would cause widespread panic, looting, who knows. It'd be very, very, very uncomfortable or an uncontrollable situation. So maybe creating a deadly virus as a smokescreen might be a very good thing to do. And at the same time, while everybody's staying inside, they're not out on a sprout with cameras and recorders that could maybe catch evidence of somebody staging an event. You feel me? I don't know if that's it. But the QAnon, see, Roz's fitting in right as well. See what you've been missing out, buddy? We've been doing this for like a year. Stay home, stay drunk, stay high. Indeed, my boy, stay high, stay high. The good thing about being on lockdown in Canada is the legal marijuana. Wonderful, never a better time. And again, was this implemented just in time, you know, hey, look, let's make weed illegal before, and then, you know, when we get everybody shut in to stage our alien event, they'll all be just getting high, watching Netflix anyway. It doesn't matter. They won't notice. Stay messed up. But are we being pushed and forced inside to stop us from witnessing things? A little bit like when YouTube changed their policy last year to require anyone with a cell phone to have 1,000 subscribers in order to go live from their cell phone. You can still do so from your laptop, but most people don't take their laptop out and about with them. They sit at home, they have their phones with them. But if you have a YouTube channel that doesn't have 1,000 subscribers, you can't go live, so you can't inadvertently catch anything that they might want you to not see or report that you've seen by publishing it live on your YouTube. You with me? You know, maybe if sometimes, you know, here in Toronto we see the local news crew on the streets, and perhaps if you saw them filming something and you were a YouTuber, you might be inclined to pull your phone out and record them. And maybe if they had crisis actors or something, you might inadvertently catch that. So that was in a little bit of censorship. And was that censorship designed for what is to come in now, because they don't want people out and about recording live what they are going to stage, the alien invasion? The visitors, they are our friends. Remember that? Maybe the visitors I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've seen the 1980s V. Didn't they like exchange like technologies and medicines and stuff in order? Don't worry, guys. We'll help you clear shit up. We'll take care of all what's going on Earth. You've made a little bit of mess, but don't worry. With the help of us, your friends, the visitors, we'll get shit sorted. Blow this fucking planet up. But the other thing that I did want to talk about was a little bit of the QAnon phenomenon, or the QAnon cult. I've always been on the inclination that QAnon is, and still is, controlled opposition. That maybe he's kind of there as part of the misinformation, or, you know, the truth community has become very, very large. The thing with the internet is that the truth community has spread, and you could even dare say there has been an awakening. More and more and more and more people are waking up to this shit day by day. And again, you know, the trouble with 9/11 as opposed to JFK was it took time in a place of technology. People had cell phones, people had camcorders, there was the internet, there was stuff like this, and literally within hours, if not days, the conspiracy theories were starting. The first thing that really, even from day one, that just didn't look right, there were two things. Flight 93, let's roll, the guys that took down the plane, and the fact that there was no debris. There's like when the planes hit the building, nothing fell off. There's no visible crash damage, which is something that is physically impossible. You can't you know, the planes aren't lightsabers that just slice through object. They're aluminum cans. They cannot penetrate steel. Not only that, the aircraft cannot, you know, they don't stay stable. They don't stay constructed at those speeds, at those altitudes. Those planes are not designed to maneuver. They would fall to pieces long before they ever hit their target, because they're commercial airliners. They're not designed to perform as jet fighters at that speed, at that altitude. They need the height to be able to gain those speeds. And the lack of evidence at the Pentagon. There were absolutely no planes. And I happened to share a little piece of evidence from an individual with a little JVC disc cam at the time, very popular things, who recorded. He lived in an apartment very close to the World Trade Center site, and we watched and we seen the second tower blow up with absolutely no evidence or sound or any remotely evidence to show that an aircraft hit that building. And that video got taken down for hate speech. And the wings, the ghost plane, you can look at it in and out, in and out. But that was it. It took place in an age of technology where information could be shared. And I kind of also think, as much as it was at the time the elite's grandest plan, it was also their undoing. Symbology, as we hear QAnon mentioned, will be their downfall, and it really was. The nines and ones, 9/11, COVID-19, the comet C-19, nines and ones. There are always figures, always figures. Rosa, you're getting he's my homeboy. I've known this guy years. It's almost 20 years I've known you, Rosa. Can you believe that shit? I started working with you in 2005. 15 years. Q not real, ask TSP. I don't believe he's real. They say he's AI. Well, I've heard that he's JFK Jr. JFK Jr. Is believed to be Q. He's believed to have staged his own death along with his wife to avoid this. Now he's coming back. We will go a little bit like this. QAnon. Now, what if, guys, the QAnon was the real new world order passive takeover? We've all been programmed, and this is what I'm saying, that in the 20 years since 9/11, technology has been there. They've had a lot of data to collect, and this is what Facebook and all these things are for. They're data collection. They're not for you and I's personal enjoyment and fun to keep us in contact with one another. It's about extracting information, who we know, where we're going, what we're doing, yada yada, what we're saying, always listening, always watching. Orwellian Big Brother is here. We carry it around with us. We volunteered into it. We give it permission by accepting. So it's not surveillance, right? This is how they tricked us. This is how they manipulated us. We're here, the day and age of Orwell, 84. We've been living in that for a decade. But they also know that a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are aware of the New World Order agenda. A lot of people are aware of the Singular World Government Agenda 23, the 2030 rather, the depopulation agenda, sustainable development. People are waking up to this. They know about this. Any kind of hostile totalitarian takeover would result with some resistance, even if the resistance didn't resist for that long. When you've got the ability to manipulate weather and create directed energy weapons that can dissolve solid steel structures into dust in midair before people's eyes, but led to believe that fucking jet fuel and the guy with a, where is it? Sorry, but anyway, we're led to believe that that's what caused the destruction. Please believe me. But what if QAnon is the passive option to totalitarianism? What if QAnon is making up to be the savior? I'm going to arrest all the pedophiles. I'm going to remove the Federal Reserve. Corruption's gone. JFK, the second coming. And we talked a little bit about Greta Thunberg and how the climate cult is becoming a secular religion. She is becoming almost a messiah or saint-like figure to that movement, and how the masses follow her around. And how even in Norway now that children are kind of taught in class to kind of honor and celebrate and almost worship Greta Thunberg as some kind of Mother Teresa, even though Mother Teresa was responsible. She brainwashed a lot of Indians into believing that they shouldn't use condoms. But in a nation that is very still practicing arranged marriage, it's also very common and acceptable for husbands to may not be in love with their wife. They're allowed to go and get a little bit of hooker coochie. But Mother Teresa brainwashed them with her Catholicism. Oh, you can't use contraception. And all these guys went out and, oh, it's great. Mother Teresa says I don't have to use a condom. I can go and get some hooker coochie and not wrap up. Then, lo and behold, you've got a Calcuttan AIDS epidemic on your thing. Greta is the most repulsive person, but QAnon also has this cult-like, almost messiah
entity going on. Nobody knows who he is. He's kind of leading. He's almost a spiritual kind of influencer to certain individuals. Is this a controlled opposition? Quite possibly. Is the information that he's providing true? Maybe it is. This is part of controlled opposition. They give you a little bit of truth in amongst a lot of misinformation. The misinformation discredits the actual truth. And the theory behind JFK Jr. staging his death back in, was it 1999? He was sure to be the next president, but his plane disappeared, and they wrapped their bodies up in Tiffany boxes, right? That was his mother's favorite store, apparently. But Q is a cult, right? It's a cult. Now, let's just say that JFK did stage his death. If he were to return, and this is what they're saying, that at the minute, this is all part of QAnon's plan. The COVID is part of the distraction, so they can get the arrest warrants, so they get these people rounded up, and they can get them prosecuted and serving time in prison for their crimes against humanity. It's a wonderful dream. I would love nothing more to believe 100% in it that it was true. Now, I'm trying to get Annie back on the show at some point. She's got some interesting stuff. She was talking to me today with concerns about that, and with regard, that perhaps the reason that this USS Comfort has been taken to New York is not as it's not the purpose for treating COVID victims, but to transport prisoners to Gitmo. And maybe these prisoners are going to be some of the elites that are going to be wrapped up and rounded up. But let me give you an example. Those of you who are familiar with Star Wars, a predictive program. Now, Star Wars, forget the fucking Disney trilogy. That is, in Rosa, you know more than anybody in this. There's few people that know Star Wars the way I know Star Wars, and you will tell that these people that's church. There isn't anything about Star Wars that I probably don't know. And if I don't, you probably don't need to know it. But within the prequel trilogy with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, I loved it. I thought it was great, even though they were very criticized, and they are a billion times better than the fucking Disney monkey spunk shit that they put out. But anyway, Emperor Palpatine. What did Emperor Palpatine do? He took out the Trade Federation. Now, the Trade Federation were responsible for all trade routes in supplying the galaxy with all their needs, taking products from one side to the other. And because they were an organization that was so large, they obtained planetary status. So they kind of had a place within the Senate, even though they weren't a planet. They were classed as a planetary status. So they had representation within the Republic, but no trade could be done without the influence of the Trade Federation. And under the Trade Federation, you got the Banking Guild, the Techno Guild, all these other people that became the separatist movement in Star Wars. And the separatist movement was controlled by Palpatine. Sorry. Then you also had the Sith at play. They were calculating their plans in the Republic again, and the Jedi, sorry, not the Sith, the Jedi and the Republic, again being controlled and advised by the same person, Palpatine. These two entities fought each other's out, killed each other, and let's just imagine that the Jedi Council and the Jedi are a little bit like the Vatican in this. Now, within the QAnon theory, that this is a time where arrest warrants have been, there's like 100, I don't know, it's 80,000, 10,000 or 1,000, I forgot the figures, but there's a hell of a lot of fucking people that are involved in the Vatican that supposedly on these arrest warrants is along with a lot of people who are within industry, like the Banking Guild, the Banking Clan, the Banking Cabal, the Techno Guild, the industrialized, the militarized industrial complex, sorry. And that was a little bit who the separatists were within the realms of Star Wars. Now, what Palpatine did is he got these things to eliminate themselves. He wiped out the Jedi, maybe the Vatican's arrest warrants, sending them to get thus their Order 66, so to speak. He took out the Trade and the Banking Guild, and for a safe and secure galaxy, we now have the single galactic empire. Is this what's going on now? Is Trump Palpatine? I think so. I think so. I don't know if any of this has made sense. Is this in the Senate? Just let him do what he wants. And what did he do? I demand urgent. Actually, I could even. I know I don't show my face, Rosa, but I could. I demand for emergency powers to deal with this threat from the Trade Federation. Turn around, stupid thing. Anyway, there was my Palpatine impression. Absolutely, you make sense. The big tech are the eyes and the ears for the cabal. Exactly. Look at the company called Serco. This is it's the biggest company you've probably never heard of, but Serco control all the defenses to major nations, as well as all the security at airports around the world. Certainly the major. There's my boy. So the QAnon theory is people, and this is how Rosa come to kind of be a little bit here tonight. He sent me a link the other day, like, dude, everything you've been saying is true. And is this QAnon thing coming to be? Are the arrest warrants there? Now, lots of things in New York recently have been very, very strange. There was the erection of the emergency hospital at the Javex building. And I said that I don't think that looks like a hospital. It looks a little bit more like a detention center. Well, Shawnee, TSP will see her. What happened to Shawnee? What did she say? Lol, I'm the only white amount, all this blue. That's true, Shawnee. I'm sorry, darling. We do it like Rosa is family, honestly. Like, say we go back way years. So how it kind of works a little bit, Shawnee, darling. It kind of, if you show up enough, then you get a wench in kind of. This is a little bit of how our community works. That there are no kind of hierarchy. We moderate each other. Come one, come as you are. Be excellent to each other. Doesn't matter what you believe in, who you vote for. We agree that we have possibly the same foe and we're kind of in this together. And a bunch of us are indeed pothead preppers that are broke ass. Keep in mind, sealed indictments are not just for famous people. Infinity is a company that sets up smart cities. Indeed, I actually did a video about a smart city is coming here in Toronto, Century 21, owned by Google, a privatized city within a city. So yeah, Shawnee, so that's kind of how it goes. Once you become remember we were talking a little bit about the regular offenders at the beginning. That's why they got wenches, because they're here each and every time. Sometimes we only get a handful of guys watching the live feed, and since this pandemic was announced, a lot of YouTubers that I'm close with, and myself included, are noticing that we are getting shadow banned. To fuck. My views are very, very down. I've been losing a subscriber a day at least on average. They're trying to silence us. They're trying to shut us up. That's why I was very, very, very surprised when there was a couple of newbies watching when we first went live. So what the fuck? Not even my subscribers know that I go live, and they subscribe and get notifications. So I'm glad we do. But Shawnee, stick around. We've been going live every single day since this pandemic kind of started. Normally I only go live once a week on a Tuesday, but I'm out of work. I got put out of work just over 2 weeks ago due to this pandemic. One way or another, we are affected if we are not infected. Christina's not getting chipped. Keep in mind, seal indictments are not just for the famous people. No, there's going to be a lot of unfamous people in that. Disney's been there to program you things a lot. I've told you, watch Disney's 1940s Chicken Little. Just change Chicken Little's the narrative from the sky is falling to COVID is spreading. And
Yeah, tell you that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking a little bit about the QAnon, that it may become the singular religion for the one world government, in a passive totalitarianism would be an easier pill to swallow for most people, and a little bit about creating a crisis or a pandemic that maybe people will call out for martial law. We just need to be kept safe. What fucking part? Stay the fuck home. Don't you understand? Listen to Phoebe's boyfriend. That kind of narrative. Give me the guillotine. You're right. So stick around. See, we've already lost Tina, and who was the other one that was new? They didn't stay that long. They've gone, unless they are still watching in the shadows. So what I've been, my goodness, we've been going over an hour, but then again, I did go on a little bit 20 minutes earlier than expected. My son been calling, trying to come home, Shah. Why can't he come home? People are scared that they will welcome a shitty, untested vax. Well, I don't believe they are untested. Bosra and myself, we worked in the pharmaceuticals. They've probably tested these fucking long ago, long ago. And we actually used to make placebo drugs for testing. And sometimes they would give people placebo drugs and the other half of the testing regular drugs. And then sometimes people were given the placebo would kind of feel psychosomatically that the placebo would made them feel better or something. Long ago. You still in that? Yeah, it's 12 years since I've worked in the pharmaceutical trade. I can't even really remember what it was like to do that now and then, but long time ago. World almost forgotten to me now. So we have been going on for a little bit over an hour, so I think maybe we should try and get a little bit into the humorous side of things. Sorry, what's Shawnee saying there? Where are they letting out? Where are they letting out what? Yeah, placebos are quite common with drug testing. As I say, they give them out to sort of people, give half the group test subjects, the real ones, half the subjects, the non ones. You haven't noticed? Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that sings along, but I'm a little bit smart, I think. I don't know. You tell me. You show up each and every week to watch me. People that in jail. Well, who's in jail, Nancy? Who's in jail? What am I missing? Sometimes, yeah, I should probably try and keep a little bit more of a track on your comments, but and Ribbit knows how drug tolls are done. I guess working for Pfizer, we made real stuff look. We did some stuff from Pfizer, I'm pretty sure. Olanzapine, I can remember, was one of the Mollypaxin. Was Mollypaxin one, or was that when I was at another? Sorry, but I worked at 3 separate pharmaceutical companies over a period of 11 years, not 11 words. Not in jail, work release. Well, jail and works. Olanzapine, yeah, I used to take some of those home at times. And Max Salt, that was another one. I can remember Max Salt we used to mean, but olanzapine was one of the psychotic drugs, I believe, for schizophrenic. Apparently just released 100 from our local jail, but it's extremely overcrowded, has 4,000. And again, the indictments aren't just for famous people, so maybe they've chucked a load of people out of jail to make room for new people that are gonna be. I mean, it would, like I say, it would almost be too good to be true if the QAnon theory that we removed the Federal Reserve, we went back to a gold standard, the corruption and the lenders were taken out of the picture, we could have a whole big restart. And this is what I'm saying, we would probably welcome that kind of passive totalitarianism under those circumstances, as opposed to the sort of more hostile image we've been led to believe through Brave New World, 1984, such stuff like this. Yeah, Pfizer is a very, very large Maxwell Faldine. Yeah, man, God, I can't even remember. I can remember that we used to do one in the dose weight had to be 150, and that's only because of what was that guy that got pneumonia? Why do they do it? Why do they? I'd love to hear what he had to say on the jail, all those baby eaters. You're right. I don't. Again, we kind of mentioned it before. I'm not sure how legitimate it is, but the HEK 293. Have you ever heard of that food additive? Was it supposedly the HEK 293 is human embryonic kidney? Sarah, hello. How can I see this from the beginning? Well, I will be putting it up. When I went for a little bit when we were under community strike status, we used to delete all of our live shows. But since the pandemic started, I've been leaving my live shows up. I've been going live each and every day for the guys that watch me. We've kind of become a little bit of a support group. We kind of come together and try and have a little bit of a distraction. But we've had a little bit of a deep and meaningful one this evening. Sometimes these live shows are about nothing. Sometimes we scratch, or I scratch my ass trying to think of things to say. Sometimes we just talk about Sings a Lot's undercarriage and how glistening and shining it is after she's freshly shaved out of the shower. But welcome, Sarah. Glad to have you with us. But yeah, once I finish the live, I will let it upload and you can watch it at your Les and Terry. Yeah, Les, that was the guy. I'd love to listen and see what he has to say. I'm pretty sure he would be, what the fuck don't they understand about stay at home? Why do they go out? Why do they do it? Sometimes we give blow up dolls tramp stamp. Yeah, Rosa, one of my viewers sent me a blow up doll. I'll get it for you. Hold on. It's Rubber Almal, everybody. I also give her one of those little Madonna spots. Do you remember Madonna used to? So I give her a couple of teardrop prison tats, because I'm pretty sure the real Almal's killed a couple of husbands. It's usually not, honestly, Rosa, it isn't a TSP live show until we've talked about Sings a Lot undercarriage. That's our favorite little Darcy, and she's actually a real singer. She sang a beautiful song for us the other day. But we make fun about her undercarriage. And Almal, who's not here, she'll probably turn up like 5 seconds before we go off air. We sometimes make jokes about her Tijuana donkey shows. She doesn't have the Tijuana donkey show, but it makes for fun and laughter. That's what I'm saying. But Almal, she did send me a rubber doll. There she is. I tried to do a poo emoji tattoo on her. I mean, it does look more like a poo when it's not wrinkled up. A little bit there. And I give her a tramp stamp and a butthole in the coochie. I drew a coochie because it didn't have any hole. It didn't have any holes. Ow, my knee needs to... You know when your knee kind of gets stuck? Things I've heard nothing about bovine coronavirus. Oh no, it hasn't mutated again. He worked for Pfizer, the mechanical electronic side of things. Interesting. But yeah, if the real Almal turned up, we could probably give her some more Sharpie tattoos to the rubber Almal. Maybe we should say we're about to sign off. And that's another thing, Rosa. I've got a little bit of a theory that I've got a bunch of viewers, and again, the people that are watching now will agree, that every time I say, okay, we're going to wrap tonight's show up, someone arrives. Can guarantee it. Bet your bottom dollar that someone will show up 1 minute before we go off air. And we've kind of called them the pink gussets, the gusset girls, because it's usually the same three offenders, although I think Sings a Lot is sort of like not rolling with them anymore because we were on to her. She just wants to kind of blend in a little bit. Maybe she drew the short straw. Okay, you're gonna have to start hanging out more often with them, Darcy. They know they're on to us. So then I used to hate the maintenance guys. What maintenance guys, Ribbit? What maintenance guys? Who's stuck 40 miles from their work? Oh, I have heard nothing. That was the bovine. So, what it must be like? What early morning for you, Rosa? Are you on night shifts at the minute? I'm trying to work out the time difference. You just went forward, so it's 6 hours again. It's 9 o'clock here. So it's what 3 a.m. for you now. And I have seen a few pictures of the deserted Swindon. I mean, it was never really like a hub of life at the best of times. It's 2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. But what was very, very kind of eerie and surreal when it kind of first sort of sunk, not really sunk in, but you know, in the early days of this pandemic, when I was out and about downtown, I did a few walkabouts. You should check out my walkabout videos. Actually, I did a little I went to the CN Tower and then walked through the Eaton Centre, up Yonge Centre to Yonge Street towards Dundas Square. You were in Toronto years and years and years ago, if I recall. So you might be able to have a little bit of a reminiscence and a virtual tour of Toronto that way. And some of the guys that watch the channel, they enjoy my walkabouts. They may never ever get to visit Toronto, so they do that. Did you realize there is a corona event that affects cattle, but it's not the Wu flu? Leave it. I love the walkabouts. They are. Yeah, I was coming back for sure. Yeah, it's a shame. Who knows? I was almost thinking of probably packing my bags up. And the winter always does that to me. Sometimes I think of packing up my bags and going home. Winters are very, very brutal. It's almost like prison again. In many ways, you can't really go out, can't do anything, just to and from work. It's been debunked. It said it was the antidote. Yeah, I think I've seen those pictures. This is the misinformation and the social programming that's going on. And again, this is something that is very, very evident that is part and parcel of this scamdemic, is the social programming that is involved, how each and every week, little by little, they take a little bit more away without us. People are still going out. We're going to have to take more rights away. And apparently today, I did a walkabout down by the lake just last week. And again, it was a beautiful day today, but lots of people went out. They weren't listening to the stay in place, the emergency, state of emergency that we're under here in Ontario means you really shouldn't be going out unless it's essential. But people were out in abundance, rolling around down by the lake, and the city moved in and blocked off the car parks. You can't take your cars in there now, and there's a $750 to $5,000 fine for breaking that has been implicated. Meds etc are not transferred in tankers. No, I hope all of this is fake. I think a lot of it is fake things. Did you send out the angry turd and spicy ramen? Not yet, Trip, not yet. As you know, I'm kind of in a little bit of a situation where I'm not at work, and what few dollars I have in my wallet I kind of need to hold on for at the moment. So hopefully I can. I mean, I do got money on my PayPal. I just can't transfer that money into real solid cash because I don't have a bank account. Something I don't got. Make no mistake, the co-fed is real, but this is what I'm saying. It may be real, but the reporting of it is fake. And we saw that lady, what was I'd mentioned her earlier, Dr. Smith at the hospital in New York, Queens, talking about how they don't have enough N95 product placement brought to you courtesy of 3M masks at their hospital, and they don't have enough incubators, and how 13 people a day are dying. How they haven't got enough room in their hospital morgue for the bodies. They had to order refrigerated shipping containers to store the bodies, which again would be a very insensitive thing to do to the victims, you know, the families of these people. Nobody could find the families of any of these alleged people. But she was on the news ranting and raving about all of this and how terrible it was, how they were on the epicenter, how it was apocalypse, how they just couldn't stop for the wave of patients. But real
genuine people have been going there en masse with their cameras and reporting that there's none of this going on. None of it at all. Now, I actually believe that they did have a troop of crisis actors that they called in the other day to line up outside to make it look like people were waiting in line for the news cameras. But lo and behold, that was last Wednesday, I think, that video went viral. But lo and behold, that nurse that was in the video saying how terrible, and again, this is gross misconduct on her. She shouldn't be walking around a hospital videoing victims and patients. Gross misconduct. She shouldn't, that's against every protocol known to man within the workplace. And anyway, she was the one that reported this and gave the world the insight to what was really going on when it was anything but what was really going on. Now, lo and behold, a week later, she's got COVID. Didn't see that one coming. She didn't have enough mask. It was the mask. I wore it 3 days in a row. For 3 days, it kept the COVID away. But on the last day, the COVID just was too strong. The N95 give up, and I succumb to the virus. And I also showed you the gimp that went down to Miami from Toronto that got it. He was down partying, sucking dicks at the gay party down there in Miami on South Beach. Come back with a little bit of, maybe he got an STD. Maybe he got a little bit of thrush or something from dumpster tuggies and sucking on too much stranger dick on the dance floor, because that does go on at gay parties. I'm not lying. That is an actual thing that happens. It's what they do. But he come back from Miami partying it up on spring break, and I had COVID and I was close to death, but I'm all right now. I'm fine. I'm right as rain. I can do a Skype call and he had no apparent signs of any ill effects, or that he'd been at death's door or anything like that. Looked right as rain. In fact, I doubt he even had the virus at all. I have Figure One, which is an app where doctors share questions of illness. They have a hard time identifying. Are we losing Shawnee? Okay, Shawnee, if you do come back, you'll be that closer to getting your wench or in your stripes. I got an email in. They asked me about what kind of COVID cases I've seen. Yeah, tell your kid night from us all, though not for me. That'll probably give him nightmares. But thank you. Very glad to have you among us this evening, Shawnee. And again, look forward to having you back. They think I'm a doctor. Why do they think you're a doctor? Sings a lot. How do they think you, of all people, are a doctor? Although I guess you could wing it, Sings. You'd actually kind of look a little bit erotic, should I say, in the white gown and the stethoscope and that kind of doctory look. Maybe bend you over a operating table for some internal investigations, perhaps. Rubber gloves and all. Inappropriate humor. The ladies love this stuff, Rosa. They're Americans. They're just here really for the accent. I could talk about absolutely anything and they'd be happy and content. But yeah, how and why do they think that you are a nurse? Sings a lot. How? Why? You're on an app and they think you're a nurse, or a doctor rather. Doctor. Yeah, I could see Darcy with that. She kind of yes. Tell just. A veterinarian works. Fun times. We love his humor. It's almost like worlds colliding, a little bit like Costanza, when the old and the new kind of come together. But we did actually work. We had a fellow co-worker called Rose who always used to tell me I should go into acting, do acting classes. You should be an actor. But Rosa will tell you I do got the face for radio. That's why you only ever see the hands. And occasionally I do emperor impressions, although that is very, very rare. I was a dental assistant. Funny enough, so was my mother. My goodness, sings a lot. Now there's some Freudian things coming to play right now. Rosie Jones and her horses, yeah. And that was her, but she always used to say I should be an actor. The only way they would think you're a nurse is if you let someone. You're a nurse, right, baby P?
My education is in dental assisting. Funnily enough, my ex in Cali, or one of my exes in Cali, was also a dental assistant. Again, so was my mother. Freudian things coming to mind. Anyway, I legit laughed out loud. Sometimes they do laugh out loud, these ladies. If Elmal was here, we've made her a fates only a mutt could love. Not even. But what was I saying? Elmal. Yeah, if she was here, I've actually made her spurt coffee through her nose a few times. That's how funny it does get. I actually remember telling Rosa a story about a burst hemorrhoid that he was on the floor, like in tears, laughing about. Do you remember the story of my burst hemorrhoid? That was a horrible. I can't actually remember the whole story in total, only that I kind of wake up. I had an afternoon nap and had a bit of a painful hemorrhoid at the time, and I kind of took a nap and woke up, and yeah, there was like, what the hell? Why is that like damp? Elmal will be here. You remember that? I can't remember how or what it happened, but somehow in my sleep I burst a hemorrhoid, and yeah, there was some discharge and mess to clean up. That's all we say on that one. They do, Christina. Let's not paint pictures that we can't unsee, guys. Let's stop while we're ahead. But yeah, I do kind of have a little bit of an ability to make people laugh sometimes, and we do try to like end the show on a laugh and a high, and dare I say, a humorous, a pinnacle, just to send you off to sleep. I don't know what it was, baby P. It was a very, very sensitive, painful hemorrhoid. It was probably the worst hemorrhoid I ever had. It was like one of those hangers. Sometimes they kind of tuck themselves up inside that aren't so bad, but it was kind of one that every step it kind of rubbed against the underwear, it kind of burst. So I don't know. It was ripe and good to go at any given moment. So I think possibly I rolled over and that's what happened. But it was just everywhere. I don't know. Oh my god, yeah, don't start me off on salad rants. No, I don't. Meat and potatoes always. See, look what you did to Rosa talking about salads. You threw up. Poor individual. So where are we at now? 1:30. So let's aim for 1:45. You know how I kind of do like to end the shows on a sort of roundish figure. Let's start trying to get into our wrap up. I need some water. I've got cotton mouth. Where is my water? So I'm going to see, today I bought meat. Nancy, give Rosa a sha. Sha is something we've adopted from little Nancy. She's our resident Cajun. She is down there in Louisiana. Cue the Gusset girls, indeed. Our little southern treasure down there in Louisiana. She salutes the Cajun Confederacy flag. But she says sha all the time, and we like what the fuck are you talking about? But anyway, Shah means my dear or my friend in kind of Cajun. So everybody's a Shah. We're all Shah. If you're wondering what hashtag Shah is all about, so Nancy, give Rosa a special Cajun Shah. He's like family, kind of. He's from my hometown. Terrible hometown. It's a little bit like the town Luke Skywalker grew up in Star Wars. It's like if there is a bright point of the galaxy, then our hometown would be the furthest point from it. Shah. So there we go. And we also talk about meat sticks and nut sacks. And nut sacks is my custom-made trail mix. Believe it or not, Rosa, some of these ladies out in the audience tonight have had the pleasure of sucking on my meat stick
and tasting my salty nutsack, and I've actually given them quite a few babies. I've actually given quite a lot of babies to my female viewers, and by that I mean the little prepper baby. These are our little unofficial mascots of TSP TV. And funny enough, they have their roots in Louisiana too. I had a girlfriend for a little while from Louisiana who brought me a cake. So I do send out these little prepper babies in homemade trail mix from time to time as little giveaways on the channel. We did have a little quiz game as well, Wheel of Thrift, where people could phone in to win real prizes. And Alias never had a nutsack so good. Never had one. We even sometimes give away sanitary towels to viewers. We have the TSP period protection units. And this is the pandemic pan. I need to send this to you, Alias, but as you know, I am a broke-ass honky at the minute, seeing as I am out of work with due to the pandemic. So that is still there. I've got it put to the side. I haven't forgotten you, and I haven't forgotten Trips, Scary Turd, and ramen noodles. It is packaged up, but as I said, guys, I've got to figure out when I'm going to get some more income. I've got to figure out a way of transferring my PayPal account into real money so I can buy things that I need. Anyway, my God, I thought that would have killed at least 10 minutes. Put to the side. Yeah, we've got I know what you're thinking. Just pull it to the side, get in. Who cares if she's on the blob? This is just going to help with the lube, and then, you know, we've all had that. That vagina that sounds like that, usually during the time of the month, that's when you get a sloppy vagina. Yeah, even baby Pamplin's husband got to taste my nutsack, and I think I give a special individual nutsack to meat stick to Almel's husband. She almost got divorced. I think maybe that might have been something to do with her spending more time watching TSP than her husband's needs. Nancy had I meat sticked Nancy and her daughter. And was it Laurie or is it Glynis? Laurie or Glynis? It's one of the two Canadian girls. They turned up in one of the, I think it was Glynis. She made her daughter phone up so she could win double the prizes. I thought that was quite cute, actually, but she made her daughter, like, what woman in their right mind would make their daughter talk to me? I'm the sort of guy that daughters are told to stay way away from, possibly get out court injunctions. I got to run to the store. No, we're going to be wrapping it up very shortly, Alias. We're getting close to the 1 hour 45 minute mark. So the Gusset girls, they're going to make their entrance anytime soon. Then this would be the time now to do so. And as it looks like a few of you ladies and guys out there have dinners and things to go to, poor Rosa, it's 3 a.m. in the morning in sunny Swindon. Is it sunny there? Sunny here today, but cold. The sun never shines in Swindon. Touch me, but social distance with all your might. I was trying to freestyle something to Take On Me by Aha that was going to be relevant. Sometimes I do some white boy jailhouse rapping because something will happen to you, Rosa. If you spend time in a North American correctional facility, you will turn into a shit rapper. It's inevitable. It's sunny. And please God, you'd be surprised, Rosa. I've actually freestyled some quite sublime rhymes. It doesn't always come, but yeah, like you would be surprised. And let's not forget, I've also spent time in and around places like Compton and East LA, not just incarcerational facilities. Rosa, he's a proper black dude that likes rap music and stuff, and the thought of me rapping is probably making him go over. Yeah, exactly. But trust me, bro, they're sometimes a little bit better than you might. Christina's eyes just lit up when I said that Rosa was a black dude. Look at her. She's like, hey, how are you doing, Rosa? You want some Yankee coochie? Sorry, we do have coochie jokes aplenty here. Oh hell no. So we won't go into my my white boy rapping, but it does happen. You can't spend time locked up in a North American. It's just like the ramen, the prison ramen. Once you've kind of tasted ramen in a sandwich bag and a bit of bologna, you kind of almost can't taste ramen any other way. What it was for you rapping. Maybe we'll do that. Do you want me, Rosa? I'll get you on the phone. We can do it through Messenger. These ladies want to hear what you have to what you sound like as well. We could probably make that happen if you want. Maybe you can tell TSP secrets from a day gone by. But yeah, the bitches be crazy for the accent over here. Rosa, like you can like be rude to them about their, like, if you have an English wife, you wouldn't dream of being rude to them when they're on their period. But you know, if you tell an American girl, yo, change your fucking jam rag, bitch, you're on the blob in fucking PMSing, they think it's delightful. They start laughing, think it's hilarious. Oh, that's so cute. Say it again. And I actually work with a girl called Evil Angela. She's not really called Evil Angelica. I just call her that because she's the opposite of evil. But she's a lovely, lovely, almost sweet and innocent little 20-something. But if I call her a sack of shit or a rancid cunt, she absolutely, dare I say, it gets a little damp. It gives them, yeah, the soggy gussets. Yeah, he probably does sound a bit. We got that good old Wiltshire accent, farmyard boy in us. I am a cider drinker. I drinks it all of the time. I am a cider drinker. Anyway, I can't remember the rest of that. Yeah, put the Discord. We've got Discord as well. You'd be surprised how almost professional this operation is. Rosa, my friend, we've even got a little mod crew. I've got somebody that runs TSP News on Facebook, putting all the stuff that you won't find on mainstream. We've even got links to the underground global prepper network, law enforcement people. We even have a real public interest person, novelist that comes and hangs out. So we will, yeah, we'll work on that. Maybe if I'll hit Rosa up and we'll try and find a time that when it is convenient for everybody. It might be like earlier in the daytime because he's like, you know, we don't want to keep 3 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes you don't want to be talking on phones and stuff when you've got, you know, loved ones in the house. But yeah, that would be fun. We could do that, Rosa, if you want. We could have a throwback Thursday or something. I don't know. We're just trying for anything. But yeah, go join the Discord, Rosa. You can go and hang out with these crazy people after. If you don't got Discord, don't worry about it. But we do try to give you guys 24/7 access to communicate with one another. If you do, sometimes the voice chat on Discord, if Jasper was here and he's drunk, Sings a Lot's undercarriage has been extra soggy. Is that because you've been saving razors and not shaving it? Maybe the hair is kind of absorbing some of that moisture. Okay, so Rosa's down, so we'll get Rosa on and we'll have a little chat. You can tell us what's going on in England about the COVID, what's going on in sunny Swindon perhaps. I don't know, we'll work something out, but we'll try and make that happen just for you people who want to hear the accent. So I don't know, Sings a Lot. Maybe go sit on the tumble dryer or something for 20 minutes. Use that TP. Maybe you need a panty liner to absorb some of that moisture. Maybe wool panties. Goodness, God. Yay. Becky Pamplin's happy. So I think we've got a bit of puffer in. We are getting close to the 1 hour 45 mark. So I am definitely going to go and be rolling. Wool panties stops house fires. That would kind of be a chastity bout, so to speak. Might even cause chafing, perhaps. Yeah, well, there we go. We're ending the night on wool panties. I don't know how or what. Weren't you going to knit me a pair of underwear? Sings a Lot. Wasn't that one of them? Stop sex too. Yeah, so does marriage. Funnily enough, you get married, it kind of dries up.
So anyway, I'm going to be rolling, get me a little smoke on, check the sky to see if there's any comments on the way. Go and check out, see how many bodies the neighborhood have been bringing out to burn at the end of the street. An old BFF messaged me. We dated at 14. Was he one of, did you give him a dumpster tuggy at school behind the bike sheds? Sings a lot. Is that why he come back to message you? He remembers that time. Hey, Sings, remember that time? 225, I'm out. Stay safe, stay bunk. We will do. Pleasure having you here today. And as I said, that's an actual real person that I know from back in my hometown. So give it up to Rosa Rocks, everybody. Thank you. Hand of applause, high five. We'll see you again. And you guys may actually get to hear from Rosa at some point. That'd be weird, trying to interview somebody I know. Anyway, as Rosa's out, we're all going to take this time to say goodbye, good night. Take care, one another. We're not going to do the thrift prayer tonight. We don't want to make a big deal of doing that all the time. But as you know, guys, keep care. Take care. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Look out for one another and be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know the drill. It's a shit video production. I should have put some music on to play us out, but it's almost too late now. But as I said, guys, look out for each other, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Watch this space. Shit video production for Tsp TV. We'll see you in another one, guys. And until then, keep it thrifty and news.